poetry open reading. This is a platform that was created some 10 years ago, more than 10 years now. This is the 11th year actually. And since that first year, we have been reading every second Thursday of the month. Not even coronavirus could stop us from doing that. So when we couldn't meet physically, we started doing the Zoom meetings because poetry is in our blood. Poetry, it's something we live for, we breathe. That's why this platform is different from most other poetry groups or poetry platforms, because most of them are performance poetry platforms. They are like poetry that is done for entertainment. But here, we are trying to get to the roots of it. We are trying to get to the art. We are trying to get to the skill set that is needed to be a good poet. So it's more of an educative platform than an entertainment one. So what happens is that people send in their work to our email address, loudthotz@gmail.com. And then during the physical meetings, we project it to the wall, and then the person reads his work, and every other person follows. At the end, we ask questions, or we comment or critique the poem, and then we allow the person to explain his poem. Actually, first of all, when you finish reading your poem, we actually clap for you, whether we like it or not. It's compulsory. And then we critique the poem, and then we allow you to explain to us the inspiration or the idea or what you're trying to communicate. That is how it is done. So now that we are online, it's almost the same thing. I'm going to share the screen to the poems that I've received so far. And when I call you, you read your poem, and I will call people to talk about the poem in no particular order. I could pick anybody. So be ready, because at any time you could be called to talk about the poem you just heard. And we'll talk about it just like we do offline. At the end of every year, since the beginning of this project that we started 11 years ago, at the end of every year, all the poems that are read every second Thursday are compiled into one book. It's called The First Gong, and it has a compilation, some over 1,000 poems that are in them, written by Nigerians that have been meeting at our venue at Maryland in Lagos to read. So we compile it, The First Gong, and it's published. What happens is that it makes you a published poet, because all the rights to the poems that you read at this event, you still have those rights. You can still claim that book, that anthology, as your own. Like, this is where all my poems are published. If you're reading regularly, that means you have 12 poems that are published within every year. And that is something that you can always boast about or care about. And like I said earlier, it's more of educational than entertainment. So you will hear people say things, you hear people comment on your work, you hear people talk about the grammar, you hear people talk about the styles. I want you to learn from these things. Don't just see it as this is the reading, and learn from what they are saying, if they are right, and keep an open ear. Nobody knows everything. You might just hear something that can help you write a better piece tomorrow. The secret to joining this group is that you have to force yourself to write, because what we do is that we give a theme for each month. What that means is that you don't just go and bring a poem from anywhere and just read. What it means is that you will be focused. You will be training your mind as a poet to know how to write on a particular topic. And that's what makes you an accomplished poet, or a better poet than you were. So you are welcome to Loudthotz, and we'll continue to meet every second Thursday of the month, as we can. So you're welcome. We start immediately. I'll share my screen now, and then Henry Amami. Hold on. Okay, just hold on. Let me share the screen. Let me share the screen. Something happened. Okay. What happened was that I made somebody else a host mistakenly. So now we can rock. If you can see my screen, just let me know, wave a hand or something, or say you can see it. Okay. Who else can see the screen?
We can see it.
Okay. Some people are not talking, and I want everybody to talk. Okay. I want some new people that came in. I don't know who they are. I want them to introduce themselves. Welcome, Father Michael. Thank you for joining us this evening, all the way from the UK. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll call your name. You just introduce yourself. Tell us how you got to hear about Loudthotz, and we'll take it from there. After the introduction, Joseph Amami will start with this poem that is on the screen called Who Would Save Me? So I'm going to call on, let me see, Abimbola Abata. Can you talk, please? Introduce yourself. How did you hear about us?
Okay, all right. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah, I actually saw the link on one group on WhatsApp.
Okay.
To join things. I actually love poetry and I'm a poet. So that's how I joined this evening. Yeah.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Ayomide, introduce yourself and tell us how you heard about us.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Ayomide Urulu. A friend sent the link to me from WhatsApp. I think she got it from the WhatsApp group chat also, a poetry WhatsApp group chat. So she sent the link to me.
Okay. Danny Vadin.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, I'm Danny Vadin, and I got the link from Henry Amami.
Okay.
I'm a lover of poetry and yet to write my own poem.
Okay. Hopefully you start writing from next reading.
Yes.
Okay, Emmanuel Akiwande. Hello, Emanuela. Hello, Emanuela.
Good evening.
Good
evening. Got to learn about the hello.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yes. Good evening.
Okay. How did you hear about?
From a WhatsApp group that I got to learn about the reading from a WhatsApp group.
Your line is bad, actually. Can you log out and reconnect? Okay. Salimon, please introduce yourself. No, your mic is mute, Salimon.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Good evening. Someone sent me the link. That is Joseph Amami sent me the link, so I just decided to join the group and learn more.
Okay, okay. You're welcome. Miss Mary. Miss Mary, are you there?
I'm right here, Chisel. My name is Marilyn Magica.
This is one of the itinerant poets that we have in the house.
For sure.
You're welcome.
Good evening, everyone.
Marilyn.
Nice, thank you.
Okay, I think we should start now. Let's start with the first poem on the screen from Joseph Amami. Joseph, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Read your work, please.
Okay. Who would save me? A sheep to the slaughter, bound to be killed, with no will to resist. So I answer whenever it comes out to me. I've tried fighting one too many. Each time I've failed. I'm a slave bound to do his master's bidding. I can't call for help because many will laugh at me. They will question my faith. We thought you're a Christian. Shame is a mold that grows in the dark. So I die in silence. No one has to know. I have a master that I pray it frees me. My addiction is an addiction that needs a subtraction because it keeps getting higher and my destruction getting worse. Who would save me?
Let's clap. You can wave your hand on the screen so that I know you're clapping. Okay. Joseph, you need to read again, please.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Who would save me? A sheep to the slaughter, bound to be killed, with no will to resist. So I answer whenever it calls out to me. I've tried fighting one too many. Each time I have failed. I'm a slave bound to do his master's bidding. I can't call for help because many will laugh at me. They will question my faith. We thought you are a Christian. Shame is a mold that grows in the dark. So I die in silence. No one has to know. I have a master that I pray it frees me. My addiction is an addiction that needs a suppression because it keeps getting higher and my destruction getting worse. Who would save me?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Ifeanyi, do you want to say something about this poem?
Well, I'm just looking at the poem. It sounds like somebody who, okay, I'm just talking about the meaning, not the form of the devices that were used. Somebody who is, he's doing the right thing instead of standing on his own belief or conviction. That's what comes across for me.
Okay. It's like somebody fighting addiction to me. On the stanza 2, this line that is here, is this not supposed to be this? Instead of that. Hello, what do you guys think?
Yes, that's what it I'm a slave bound to, yeah.
Not AM.
Yeah, not AM, it is
Yeah, I thought that too, that it should be I am a slave.
Okay. So from what I'm looking at, it's like somebody, maybe because of the last stanza that gave it away, my addiction is an addiction. That's a good play on words, and it's a nice one, but I can't really put my hands on it. There's something off between the verses, like you're putting so many words together. For me, it didn't flow directly from the beginning to the end. I thought you could have done better to make it flow from the beginning to the end, instead of all the stanzas looking kind of different. That's my opinion about it. Emmanuel, you want to say something?
Yeah, so clearly, I think the message is quite clear here. So it's one of despair. So somebody not in a space that he or she feels comfortable in. Like it says there, an addiction, so someone trying to break out of a space, a confinement that he or she is not okay with. So it's asking the question, who would save me? So at this point, the poet is seeking some form of answer. So he or she keeps searching. Then in terms of line and putting together, like organizing, I think some bit of cordiality would help, because like it's a great message because addiction is real and alive out there. So
Yeah.
if the more we talk about it, the more we draw attention to it, the more we're able to help ourselves, because like no man is an island. So I think the poem needs some more form of being organized. So, but overall, I think it's a good message. So we should help. Yeah, we should help and seek out each other's pain and comfort them.
Okay. Joseph, talk to us.
Okay. I wrote it based on I've been an addict for a particular stuff for over 10 years, and it's really hard. Sometimes I try to fight, and I know it, I'm back again. I leave for like 1 month, I'm back again. So this year I was like, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to like be free. And I think June or thereabout, I just fell in back. And at that day I was just so mad at myself, and I like, what will I do? I just felt like, let me write something. And I just start penning things down. So it's just like an addict that is trying to ask for.
Thank you. I think you can use this as a form of therapy. Maybe when that urge comes, instead of fulfilling it, you take your pen and paper and try to write something and let your mind go off that. Thank you for sharing, Joseph.
Thank you very much.
Okay. You're here?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Read your poem, please.
The mood can spell doom. The nature of things is light or dark, right or wrong. Everything is in between. Doom is mood spelled backwards. The mood can spell doom, so take care of the mood. To the man who has seen a glimpse of heaven, death is a welcome idea, a ceremony of happiness, a victory over self. But for him who feeds his vices, death is a topic not to, on the list, to be avoided at all costs. And to all others, everything is in between. The ignorant is not innocent, for each will be tested at the edges of Mount Doom. To yourself be true. Joy or sorrow will aid as we discover what wasn't missing. Everything is in between. Doom is mood spelled backwards. The mood can spell doom, so take care of the mood.
So yeah, we can always wave hands so that we know you listen to the poem. Father Michael.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about this?
Okay, very briefly. It's beautiful trying to play with the words and the contrast, light and dark, right or wrong, doom and mood, and using that. For poetry, most of the time I would suggest using imagery and those mechanisms that are peculiar to poem itself, and it drives home the meaning more, because one of the key focus of a poem is to keep the language and to invent new ways of expressing it. And one of the great things that helps in doing that is the use of imagery, metaphor, simile, and all that. So the idea and the play around word and juxtaposition is excellent. So well done.
Okay, like you said, Father Michael, I think in my own opinion, that's what we usually say when we talk here, because it's your own opinion.
Yeah.
In my own opinion, I feel that poetry should make the message sweet to listen. It should not be message that is just delivered with every other day language. I don't know how to put it. It's not as if you have to make your poetry so complicated that people don't understand it. I feel that it has to be sweet. It has to make people mind what you're saying because of the way you said it, not just because of the message. And even though there are just like a spot or two and the whole work that had that, but the overall view of it doesn't appeal to my own opinion of what poetry should be. Marilyn, do you want to say anything?
Hey, Woga, why did you call me now? So, I'm Poetry 101 for Dummies. There are some areas in the poem I like. When he talks about to the man who has seen a glimpse of heaven, death is a welcome idea. Listening to you, I saw what you meant. Like they are good, a ceremony of happiness, a victory over self. But for him who feeds his vices, death is a topic not on the list. So listening to you, I saw what you said, because looking at this, it's hard to see some of the elements of poetry, like the rhyme and the rhythm. But for me, because of how powerful the imagery is, I still appreciate it. And I would have, this is a poem I would have read a second time. So I like it.
Okay. Ifeanyi, please talk to us.
Yeah, when you gave the theme Doom, I was like, okay, everything that was coming to my mind was, the word doom itself is not a positive one. So I kind of thought about more of the message than, I know I'm writing poetry. I know poetry has to be there, but mostly what I look at is, okay, what can I talk about with doom? And, looking at the word doom, I now see if you spell it backward is a mood. So in order to avoid doom, you have to change your mood to a positive one. So that's what I tried to do in the second stanza. So basically I was trying to look at the theme and, bring something positive to the theme, not that you should always, watch your mood, because like we all know that whatever you sow is what you reap at the end of the day. So that was the foundation of where I was coming from. So it's mostly the message I'm passing across, not just the using. Yeah, I know I should use more of the poetry devices, but I looked at the theme. I said, no, I don't want to sound all gloomy and all that.
So,
Okay.
so Chisholm, if I may just say something, I think maybe that's actually why I could relate with this poem. Okay. Because when Rio sent it to me, I kept, each time I thought about writing doom, I kept cringing internally until finally I realized that doom was mood. And so I found myself thinking that if I got round to writing a poem, I would write about the mood, because I couldn't bring myself to immerse myself in the concept of doom. So maybe that is why reading this, I was like, oh, somebody else spelled it backwards too. So if I can feel relate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's listen to Kemi Bond. Hello, Kemi, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, please read.
Okay. A poem written to Ellen Oyeyemi's book titles. What is not yours is not yours. Leave it alone. Don't go near it. Don't be greedy. Drop it. Else it turns your hand to stone and you crumble to dust. W is for witching. W is for wicked. W is for wizard. W is asking who? Who are you? You are a wizard. Wizard of lies. Mr. Fox. Cunning man. Plotter of lies and all things cunning. Cunningly you con, and con that you are, you steal and covet. Conny conny. Boy, snow, bird. Boy, you're a fool. You think Snow White will stay asleep forever. But a little bird told me that all it took to wake Snow was a sliver of truth. And so the story goes. The opposite house. There was an opposite man who lived in an opposite house. Every word he spoke was an opposite. He spilled tales in confidence. He spared not a single detail. Now his confidence is gone and all his tales with.
Kemi. Okay. Danny Vadin, do you want to say anything? Hello, Danny. Is Danny there? Okay. Ayomide, do you want to say anything?
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. I feel like I have to read it again, but I feel like it tells the story, and I like the flow of the way it feels like. I feel like it's like a story, but I like the flow, maybe because of how she read it. Though I feel like I still don't like totally get the narrative or the whole structure of the poem, but I definitely love something about the flow and how it was written. And I feel like as she was, there was a way our train of thoughts went that made out. I just love the flow and the train of thoughts that went into putting it down, because I love a sort of spontaneous and not following a specific structure when writing a poem. So I love the way she wrote it.
Okay. Ololade, are you there? Hello, Ololade.
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to talk about this poem?
No, sorry. I was kind of simultaneously doing something else. Sorry.
Okay. Emanuela. Hello, Emanuela.
Hello.
Okay. Do you want to talk about this poem? What do you like? What
No.
you don't like? You don't want to. Emmanuel.
I think the only thing.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Okay, Emmanuel, talk, please.
So I think I'll have to read it again, but clearly I like the play of words, so some of the words, it has a very direct message, and I like how she used the W in that second stanza, and that made the poem like very, very strong, But clearly I have to read it a couple of times to get a grasp of what it entails, but I like it, like I like the way that it's a bit of everywhere, but at the same time giving out the true intention of the poet. So I think it's a good win. Can I get is there a way of getting the copy like sent to users?
Okay. All the poems that we have been reading all the years are on this place I'm writing now on the screen.
Okay.
Here.
Yeah.
This is where all the poems are going to be. All the poems we have been reading for the whole years, they are here. So if you go here, anybody can go there, see all the poems that we have been reading over the years.
Sure, I'll go take a look at it again, sit and look at it. The first stanza especially, it has this thing about being content. It says what is not yours is not yours.
Not yours.
So like, don't go searching for what you are not, what you don't deserve, you know. So like, don't even think about it, don't go near it, you know, or else there will be repercussions, and that's when she says, else it turns your hand to stone. To dust. It's a very strong message. I like the poem. I'll sure go back to read it again.
Yeah. Okay, the title of the poem is a bit not usual, but then there's something we have learned here from Dr. Ode, who is one of our mentors here. There's what is called a found poem, where you take words, found as in F-O-U-N-D, when you take book titles and use it to make up a poem. I think that's what she did here. I don't know Helen Oyeyemi, and I've not read any of her books, so but I guess when she's explaining it. I also feel that there's a kind of disconnect from the boy snowbird place down. That's the second to the last stanza. I felt it was completely different from the first three stanzas. The W, if you were not reading it, looking at it, you would think she's saying W, not instead of the alphabet. You would think it's just a phrase that she's saying. But you know, I like the poem and I like the idea she's trying to pass through. So Kemi, please talk to us.
Hi.
Hi, Kemi.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
So,
wow, your network is bad, Kemi. We can't hear you.
The poem is the first line is the title of a book written by Helen Oyeyemi. Helen Oyeyemi is a British Nigerian author. She writes some very I can't remember the genre that they call a kind of writing. She doesn't write just any kind of book. She writes, sometimes she can take a fairy tale and then turn it around and make up a very strange story. So I'd been reading some of her books. So when I wrote this poem, it was a rip of the titles of some, well, not all, but some of her books. So What Is Not Yours Is Not Yours is a book she wrote. W is for Witching is a book she wrote. Mr. Fox is the name of a book she wrote. And Boy Snowbird is also the name of a book she wrote, as well as, I think, The Opposite, what's the last one? The Opposite.
The Opposite House.
The Opposite House. So, but the poem itself is a response to an experience I had with a pathological liar. So what I did was just to, once I picked that title, I would then write whatever came to my mind based on that experience. So that's what the poem is about.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Yep.
Okay, let me read mine. Mine is a continuation of last month. I don't want to make a promise I can't fulfill, but there is a method to this madness. I'm trying to compile all the poems I'm writing for my daughter into a book. So this is the second poem in the series. The first one I read last month. So the title of the poem is For Bryna, Part 2, A Love. Doom is when you look like a happy smile and I can't see you for a minute. Lie to myself, it's all okay. when I know it's not. That lie can only live for so long. Doom is when you have a grace that requires a metaphor, and I pretend I could do without seeing you for a minute, when your very existence teaches me secrets of true love. If you could speak now and say jump, I will ask how high. Breathe. Thank you. Okay, it's an open field. If you want to talk, you can unmute and talk, or raise your hand and I will unmute you. Who wants to talk?
Please read again. It's like you jumped a line.
Oh, really? Okay, one more time. For Brianna, part 2, a love. Doom is when you look like a happy smile, and I can't see you for a minute. Lie to myself, it's all okay, when I know it's not. That lie can only live for so long. Doom is when you have a grace that requires a metaphor, and I pretend I could do without seeing you for a minute, when your very existence teaches me secrets of true love. If you could speak now and say jump, I will ask how high. Breathe. Thank you. Okay, Ariel, talk.
I'm just smiling here because, especially when you said, "Oh, if you could talk now," so I could just see you reading this poem to your daughter and all the love. It just shows how much you love her. That's what I see in this poem.
Okay.
Don't worry, she'll soon tell you to jump.
Emmanuel.
You let us know if you really ask how high.
Okay.
But the children will demand. They will demand.
Okay, Emmanuel, let Emmanuel talk, please. Emmanuel, your mic is on mute. Hello, Emmanuel, your mic is on mute. Okay, let me unmute you. Okay, talk, Emmanuel.
Yeah. So wow, it's a very strong poem. It's father-daughter love. You know, it shows that bond. And okay, because I have a 19-month-old baby girl as well. So I mean, sometimes leaving the house to work, it's hard. You know, so okay, I'm gonna be at work for 8 hours, and yeah, I'm gonna miss you. So you're leaving the house, you're smiling, you're waving, like you're kissing her goodbye, but inside you're sad, right? So this poem for your daughter is one that encapsulates that bond we have with our children, you know, and it's a very strong one. It says that if you could speak now and say jump, I will ask how high. It shows that level we would go, you know, to fulfill the love we have for our children. You know? So like you can basically do anything that is reasonable for them. And I like the poem. It's a strong one. Thank you.
Thank you. Kemi, you raised your hand. Hello, Kemi. Kemi, are you still there? She's not there. Okay. Kemi, talk.
Just like the one you wrote the last session we had, what really draws my attention, what is really striking for me is there's this humility with which it's not written on the pages of the poem, it's not written anywhere, but I can sense you know, there's this humility that I feel like you're in awe of this girl, and it's like a living experience for you. And I think that's what I really like about the way you've been writing these poems so far. Like, it's not hard at all to just flow and say what is on your mind. It's not difficult, because you're so humbled by the experience. So I really, really like it. It's easy, it's smooth, and I encourage you to continue.
Thank you.
Thank
you. Father Michael.
Yes, since it's part 2 of it, I'll come in the middle. I love, just as Kemi has said, I think the simplicity of it is the punch line, and somebody reading it, you know that there's a background of that emotional connection between a father and a daughter. And though it's not saying something tragic, but you get the sense of that doom when that connection is broken, maybe for work, you are separated for a while. And then particularly, I love the last line. If you could speak now and say jump, I will ask how high. And then that breathe as if it's on your mark, jump. And that 3-letter word carries that punch of a command. So this is lovely. I'm sure when she grows up, she will treasure this. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I think this is a very clear poem, and everybody got it. It's for my daughter. I'm trying to make a book out of this sometime if the poems are big enough. But for now, I'm just expressing the joy of holding her in my hand. So that's what the poem is for. Her name is Brianna, and she has other names that are like 12 pages, but it's okay. Okay. Let's listen to Emmanuel. Emmanuel read last at Loudthotz in 2013.
Wow.
And now he's reading from Canada. Emmanuel, please read. Your mic is on mute. Yeah.
Okay, I think everyone can hear me now.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, so this poem is titled Smith and I. I thought I'd share a copy with Smith before he died. You know, like sips while he told me things. But we parted ways. Smith took Earth's warm blankets. It should be cozy, I thought, but I don't know, as no one knows. But we sure missed that last coffee. I tried to make the bean birth warm conversation, for Smith had some things to share. In the past, coffee beans made Smith beam with smile. I know. We sat by the cafe balcony, Smith and I, talked a lot. A few more he left unsaid. Another day, he said. Another day now locked in endless wait. If we sat, mugs in hand, Smith had one thing to say, but now I know not. Was it his sequence relapse? Well, the coffee didn't happen. Yeah. Now I sit by the cafe balcony, sipping, facing this Smith vacuum.
Wow. That's you haven't lost the touch, Emmanuel. You have to read it again, please.
Okay, I'll read it again. I thought I'd share a coffee with Smith before he died. You know, like sips while he told me things. But we parted ways. Smith took Earth's warm blankets. It should be cozy, I thought, but I don't know, as no one knows. But we sure missed that last coffee. I tried to make the bean birth warm conversation, for Smith had some things to share. In the past, coffee beans made Smith beam with smile. I know. We sat by the cafe balcony, Smith and I, sip-talked a lot. A few more he left unsaid. Another day, he said. Another day now locked in endless wait. If we sat, mugs in hand, Smith had one thing to say, but now I know not. Was it his sequence relapse? Well, the coffee didn't happen. Now I sit by the cafe balcony, sipping, facing this Smith vacuum.
Well done. Okay. In case I don't call you to talk and you want to talk, you can click the raise hands and I'll call you. But I want Father Michael to talk about this. And then I want Marilyn to talk about this because this is a kind of poems Marilyn writes. But Father Michael, talk about this, then Marilyn.
Okay, this is very beautiful, and it fits in very perfectly with the theme of the Doom. And as Emmanuel read the poem, you could feel the emotion, and you could put yourself in the conversation. You are part of it. Smith Beam, Sip Talk, and then the daring with the creativity of the word that is using. Sip Talk is something creative. I'm sure Webster should pay you to register that combination. You know, and this is a drama of life just put in these few words, and I'm sure it would have taken me a lot of energy to work this together, and you could see the flow of that conversation running through the whole poem. This is very lovely, and I did enjoy it.
Okay.
Thank you.
There's this line, Earth's warm blankets. Is it only me that haven't heard it before? Somebody else have heard of it? Because I haven't heard of it before. Earth's warm blankets. It's creative. Let me know. Yes. I don't know how you came and got that picture in your head to put it down. That is lovely. Marilyn. Hello, Marilyn. Let me see. Marilyn, are you here? No. I can't see her. Okay. Olaito Humble, do you want to talk about this? Hello? Humble? No.
Marilyn wants you to unmute her.
Unmute Marilyn.
Okay. I can't even see her. That's the thing.
Okay. You've unmuted me now. Yeah.
All right. Maybe somebody else. Okay.
Yes. So, interestingly, this poem makes me sad. The nostalgia to it, and it also makes me ask questions. I really appreciate how Smith is personified, and it makes me curious about him. So, for example, how old was he? Was he like the more elderly philosophical type? What took him away? And the part around where he says another day, and another day now locked in endless wait. That really that touches me. So very well written, lovely imagery, nostalgic and beautiful. Thank you for sharing your poetry.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay, Mercy raised her hand. Mercy, are you there? Hello, Mercy. Anybody can unmute Mercy, please? Oh, she's not around. Hello, Mercy. Ifeanyi Henry, can you try and unmute Mercy, please? Okay. Mercy raised her hand, but she's not talking.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Oh, Mercy. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Hello?
you.
Can you hear
Yes. Mercy, we can hear you.
me?
Yes, we
Hello?
can hear you.
Hello?
Mercy, we can hear you.
I'm talking. Hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
I guess she can't hear us.
Okay.
I think Henry Amami raised his hands.
Okay, Henry, please talk. Hello, Henry. What's happening? Hello, Henry.
Henry.
Is he muted?
He's not looking at us. Let me see.
Henry.
Yeah, Henry.
Henry, you raised your hand. Can you talk?
Yes. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. I want to talk about the poem. Good evening, everyone. I came in a bit late.
Yeah. Continue.
So, this is a very beautiful, sad poem.
Beautiful, sad poem.
Very beautiful, sad poem. I like the way you read it. You read it so with a lot of emotion, and you can feel it. And it's something I can relate with. And there's a particular place, maybe I saw a very perfect imagery that was so wow to me. It talks about earth. I'm trying to look at it again. My eyes, earth, warm blanket, something.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I like that line. And the closing line also. Smith, I'm facing the vacuum, something like that.
Yeah, Smith vacuum.
So, yes, Smith. Sipping, facing this Smith vacuum. I love that line also. This is a good one.
Okay.
Thank you.
Emmanuel, talk, please.
Okay. So Smith and I is something is the poem I wrote. It tells us about connection, about the need to reach out. So let's say you have this friend. Let's say that friend is Smith. So you've been hanging out with Smith, right? So
wait,
Smith has
wait, Emmanuel, don't tell me this is an imaginary friend.
Well, it's poetry, so like you have like a wild field, so
wow.
You can have a very, very, very real perception of it. You can have an imaginary, so you just have to play with it however you want. But the message is what I want to talk about now. It points towards reaching out, So we have a society where we are so locked into our individuality, like we want to do things just us, So I'm adding technology to it, so like we're just on our phones and just going through apps, and we are not sharing, we are not connecting. So let's say Smith had some bottled issues that he wanted to share with you, with me, and you've been hanging out, you've been expecting Smith to tell you. But these visits kept going, and at some point, you lost Smith. I want to leave it at that. You lost him, So where do you get these answers from? How do you know what he had in mind? How do you know how best to help him, to help that friend that we have that we're not talking to right now? So like it speaks to our inner selves to reach out, like to help one another, to listen, especially. I want to emphasize the importance of listening. So a lot of us just hear each other, but we don't really listen, right? So you have that close friend, that sibling, maybe a parent that is around you, but you are not really paying attention to what that person is saying. So like I said before, you can hang out, you can go to parties together, but that person still has one or two things bottled up inside. So Smith and I is a message of connection, and I'll leave it at that. Should connect to one another. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. You're welcome.
I hope you'll be more regular.
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay, let's listen to Ariel. Ariel, are you there?
I'm here.
Hello. Okay.
I'm here.
Okay.
I should start. I can't hear anything again.
I think it's frozen.
Am I?
I think system is offline.
I think we've lost Chisom.
Yes.
So while we wait, should I read my poem? And then when he comes, he puts it up for you.
Yes, I think you should.
Yeah, go on.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah?
Yeah, you are the host now. Can you make me a co-host so that I can share the version of the poem I have?
Okay. I've done that. And somebody else signed in with your name who you also made co-host. So you were actually co-host before.
Okay.
So should I read or I should wait for you?
Yes, you can read.
Okay. Stereotypes. Our first impressions, assumptions, misconceptions, preconceived impressions are actually the right conception. The attractive female marketer, smooth-talking market hustler, security men that greet, babies old enough to cut teeth, the roadside policeman, rich businesswoman, prominent politician, NEPA or LASTMA official, that lady in a short dress, a guy with long dreads, the handsome lesson teacher, or a very handsome preacher, a northerner with a machete, even a pastor with a private jet, knocked up, single and homeless, educated, broke and jobless. The list goes on and on and on. Different tune, same song. So knowing where you reside, the people you know, the car you drive, the attitudes you show, comes with its own ramifications, classifications, and expectations. If a monkey doesn't eat bananas, or a cow prefers fruit to grass, they find a way to tilt the horizon to counter the confusion and supply excuses in a basket made of glass. So what's it going to be? Discover the calm, deep blue sea, or rely on the numerous ABCs? Accept the first smile, or suspect the glint in the eye? Go with history, or treat it like a mystery? Does the president win the day? Will the benefit of doubt have its say? Or will gut feelings come into play? Are first impressions, assumptions, misconceptions, or the right conception? Or are all victims just expected to have thicker skin? One mistake is all it takes. I can see you guys sharing the screen. Am I reading it again or you got it?
Sorry guys,
I will read it again.
I was logged out. I just logged in the internet. Here, switched off. So, continue.
Okay, scroll to the top.
Good.
Okay. Stereotypes. Our first impressions, assumptions, misconceptions, preconceived impressions, or actually the right conception. The attractive female marketer, smooth-talking market hustler, security men that greet, babies old enough to cut teeth, the roadside policeman, rich businesswoman, prominent politician, NEPA or LASMA official, that lady in a short dress, a guy with long dreads, the handsome lesson teacher, or very handsome preacher, a northerner with a machete, even a pastor with a private jet, knocked up single and homeless, educated, broke, and jobless. The list goes on and on and on. Different tune, same song. So knowing where you reside, the people you know, the car you drive, the attitude you show, comes with its own ramifications, classifications, and expectations. If a monkey doesn't eat bananas, or a cow prefers fruit to grass, they find a way to tilt the horizon to counter the confusion and supply excuses in a basket made of glass. So what's it going to be? Discover the calm deep blue sea, or rely on the numerous ABCs? Accept the first smile, or suspect the glint in the eye? Go with history, or treat it like a mystery? Does the president win the day? Will the benefit of doubt have its say? Or will gut feelings come into play? Are first impressions, assumptions, misconceptions, or the right conception? Or are all victims just expected to have thicker skin? One mistake is all it takes.
Well done, Ariel. I think this is why we call you the Queen of Rhyme. If you guys noticed from the beginning of this long poem to the end, it rhymed. I don't know how she does it. When many people try this, they force the rhymes, but she does it flawlessly. About the message, I think you're talking about the state of the nation, what is happening now, and how nobody is very sure of what is going on, and how the government is treating the people. That's my opinion. Any other person?
Chisom, Tim, the poet, something like that. Someone raised his hand, so maybe we should call him.
Okay, Tim the poet.
Two people.
Are you? Okay. Tim the poet. You raised your hand. And then Kemi, you raised your hand. Hello, Kemi. Oh,
Yeah.
Tim. Okay. Kemi, after you talk, then Tim will talk.
Okay. Of course, I'm a fan of Ariel's poems. This one is so relatable, as in it's what you see around you, especially this knowing where you reside, people you know, the car you drive, the attitude you show comes with its own ramifications. It's like people judge you based on the outside look. Like ever since I started driving a different car, people just, there's a look, and it's not as if anything has changed, There's just this.
Kemi, something has changed. You need to wash that car.
The car has changed now.
How can you say nothing has changed?
You changed your car.
They don't even know how the car came about. They will just be surrounding you, and once they see you in that Jeep, they're like, "Oh yeah, from bed."
Oh, Kemi, see even the Jeep. Oh my God. Kemi, you're watching this Jeep.
my Jeep is bigger than yours.
The poem is so relatable, so relatable. Very Nigerian. I love the fact that she still, did her rhyming. I think her last poem she didn't rhyme at all, or maybe in a few places. So I've really missed the rhymes, and Ariel does it so effortless. It's really. I know she's teacher, preacher. I can't. I don't think.
Hello, is Tim talking?
Hello.
Tim.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, good evening, everybody. It's my pleasure to be among this honorable set again after about 2 years. Every nice work. In fact, this poem is, for me, it's one of the best I've heard from you. Despite my long absence, I love the beautiful alliteration, picking up from Kemi's opinions. It has this very familiar feel to it, very, very familiar, and it just flows, it cascades, like water off a duck's back. It just flows, and, each and every one of us can see ourselves, right in there. Beyond the stylistics of the poem, what you just did could be used as a research work, because this few days ago there was this research I stumbled upon where some people were put to sleep in a half-sleep state, and they were given words like pepper, and then they responded by saying salt, and they did this from their sleep. And it just goes to show our prejudices as human beings. When we are fed one thing, an input, we automatically regurgitate an output, and whether that output, what the output, is dependent on our nature, what we've taken in beforehand, and I like the subtle suggestion towards doom. It's not very obvious, but then, and the last line captures it all. There you say, all it takes is one mistake. It's not a very forceful poem. It's tenderly prodding you towards the end, where you can just let all your emotions flow. And then it says, all it takes is one mistake. A very subtle rebuke, calling each and every one of them. Consider our prejudices, and consider our next neighbor. Thank you.
Okay. Ariel, please talk to us. We need to move faster because of time so that we can conclude quickly. So Ariel, talk to us, please.
Well, as we said in the beginning, the topic doom was a very hard one to tackle without being too gloomy. So where my thoughts took me is like, okay, doom. What could take you that far? Depression. What could lead you to depression when you are misjudged or people don't understand you? And why don't people understand you? It could be from the impression you made. So that's why I took it from that angle. First impressions. How do you judge people by the cover? That's the first impression they give you, or do you wait to get to know the person? So that's just how I went through this poem. Because yes, most times, are you judging by your gut feeling? Just how are you taking it? Are you giving people an extra? You see a guy with dreads, you just assume that this one doesn't know what he's doing. See his long dreads on his head and all that. Are you judging him by his looks? Or are you going to wait to get to know the person? Because one mistake is all it takes to just lead someone to doom. That's how I took it. Thank you.
Thank you. Henry. Hello, Henry.
Jesus might still with us.
Pardon? Yes. Henry, are you there? Henry is around, but he's not talking. Hello, Henry.
Yeah, okay.
Hello?
Yeah, who projected the screen? Is it Henry?
Yes, I am.
It's Henry. Henry.
Okay. Henry, can you read your poem, please? Or if you're not ready, somebody else can read.
Okay, I'm not ready because I have something in my mouth already.
Okay. Loudthotz should read. Loudthotz Humble. Loudthotz, are you there? Loudthotz?
Hello.
Okay, you're around.
Okay. I wasn't allowed to unmute a while back.
His poem is somewhere.
What's the title of Loudthotz's poem?
Doomsday. Doomsday.
Scroll down. Scroll down. It's somewhere.
I don't have, okay,
The
let me
title
read
is,
it. I don't have a light.
the title is Doomsday.
Okay, let me share my own screen. It should be there.
The title is
I should stop sharing so you can share, right?
Yeah. Yes. Let me share my own.
Oh, let me read mine before you share. I should read mine.
Oh, you have something in your mouth. Let read this. Very short. When he finishes, then you can read your poem. I know his poem is here somewhere. Yeah, this is a Loudthotz poem. Can you guys see it clearly, or I should make it bolder?
Yeah. It's okay.
It's okay. Okay. Loudthotz, please read.
Okay. Doomsday. When a majuscular DOOM assembles under a pile of hueless cloud banks, where wails of the cumulonimbus grant the resonant echoes of the trumpet, ushering in the promised eternal life of unending dolor or bliss, means of the virtuous and vicious, harrowed over the cataclysmic events, signal the arrival of the ultimate trial. Over are the days of beaming with vivacity.
I'd like to read this again, please.
Okay. Doomsday. When a majuscular DOOM assembles under a pile of hueless cloud banks, where wails of the cumulonimbus grant the resonant echoes of the trumpet, ushering in the promised eternal life of unending dolor or bliss, means of the virtuous and vicious, harrowed over the cataclysmic events, signal the arrival of the ultimate trial. Over are the days of beaming with vivacity. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's move. Emmanuel, are you around?
John Paul raised his hand.
Okay.
John Paul Obieze.
Yes,
Yeah.
good evening.
Okay. You want to talk about this poem?
I just wanted to find out if my poem entered finally, because it gave me a bit of problem. I was asked to resend my poem in Word, which I did.
When did you do that?
As the meeting had started before I saw the message. I sent it in
Oh.
PDF at first, then I resent it.
If the meeting has started, I doubt if it's going to be there because okay. Do you want to talk about the poem or we could move on?
Okay, we can move on. Let's move on.
Oh, okay. Father Michael.
Yeah. One, structurally, I'm trying to, maybe I'm not sure, maybe in what formatting the structure has broken off. So I'm trying to get whether there are four line stanzas or three, not very obvious from what is on the screen. But I get the sense of trying to use the elements of cloud, rain formation to depict a kind of end time scenario. This is a type of poem you need to pace very gently because there's a cascading of words within each line, and they are not very everyday words. So you need to understand some of the words to understand the meaning of the whole poem of the day is painting. I get the sense of it, but the closing, I was expecting more. My feeling is that this is building up to a climax, then it ended abruptly midway. That's the feeling I have. I love the sense of it and the maturity of the selection of word used, but I was longing for more kind of finishing, which I didn't get at the end, but this is beautiful. I'm sure you can develop it further.
Okay. Team, you raised your hand. Anyway, if you want to talk, you can always raise your hand. Click the raise hand icon and I'll call you. Tim raised his hand. Tim, can you talk?
Okay, thank you. Very short poem, and my response is very short. Fantastic effort, Olaito. For me, the most catching part is how abrupt the poem ends. That uncertainty that you're thinking, like Father Michael said, you're thinking it's something going to be long, and then suddenly doomsday is here. You know, I think that's the moral, that's the entire story there. That shortness, that abruptness, that uncertainty. Suddenly, the days of beaming with diversity are over. You know, I think that portrays the essence of the piece, if you ask me. I don't know what mindset the poets penned this down from, you know, but the whole scenario just abruptly ends, and that's perfect. Well done, bro.
Okay. Olaito, I'm not a fan of big words, maybe because I can't speak them. All the words you call, many of them I can't pronounce. My Igbo tongue will not allow me to do them. But I like the way you wanted to play with the structure of the poem, how the lines didn't stay the way it should, but scattered in a way. I've been looking sideways to see if it's supposed to form an image of something. That's a good poetry device that you use there. But your, well, I say the big words and the long words that you use didn't allow me to feel it didn't allow me to soak up the poem. I have a feeling that is a very good poem that I can read again and maybe go look up those words in the dictionary and understand better. But then those big words just like pushed it away. But I like the sense it gives me that this is like a mystery that I need to unravel and know exactly what this means. So thank you for sharing, Olaito. Just talk about the poem a bit. We have to be fast so that we have barely 30 minutes to finish.
Okay,
Olaito,
so
please talk.
okay, so it was intentional to write this poem in this distorted manner, right? So it was also written to create this kind of picture. Since this is a page poem, so the same effect it's meant to give reading it aloud should be when when it is viewed from a distance. So that was why it was written that way. And considering the diction, well, the diction, I don't the dictions are not so grand. Majuscular is something that is capitalized, a capital and an uppercase letter. So I don't think there is another way I could do that than just use the word majuscular,
You could
capital
have
letter
used
D.
capitalized.
That would be too I don't know.
I understand what you mean. I understand.
Exactly.
So what's this
So
poem about?
the poem, thank you. So the poem, from the title Doomsday, and from Doomsday, it's like a prophecy that is yet to brought to fruition. We are all awaiting trial one day, someday. So awaiting that trial and responding to the abrupt ending that Mike spoke about. It is written short, and it ended that way. It was all intentional, and the structure too. It was all like that. So this poem deals with the sky, basically. The elements used in the poem deals with it, exactly. So it is looking at the end time from the perspective of a sky gazer here, something like that, more of that. Cumulonimbus is a kind of cloud pattern that we see in the sky, especially when the rain wants to fall. So that's the dome I was trying to picture in this poem. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Let's listen to Henry Amami. Henry, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Where is
Can you hear me?
your pool? Yes, we can hear you. Please read.
Clarity. I have seen the light of darkness, and I have seen the darkness of light in thoughts. I have seen the good of evil, and I have seen the evil of goodness in man. I have seen the weakness of strength, and I have seen the strength of weakness. I have seen the pride of humility in doves, and I have seen the humility of pride in peacocks. I have seen beautiful moments go to ruin in semiparous animals, and I have seen beauty in ruin when nature put forth anew. I have dared my dread, and have turned out undead. I have been to the abyss and freed my demons the light of clarity. I have embraced the clarity of purpose. I have embraced the clarity of time and seasons. So depression, you linger here too early, too late. This soul shall not take the plunge, nor succumb to your gallows god. We are too littered to be littered by you. No suicide. You shall not be dignified, not with my name, not with my friends, not with my family, not with the weakest of man, not with the you reading this. No suicide. We are on the sweet side. We are purified.
Thank you. First of all, I want to say this. I feel there should be a comma here at no suicide instead of, because together it reads no suicide. I don't. Is anybody feeling the same? Rio, Hello, Ariel. Are you there?
Hello, I'm here.
Yeah, I was saying that this last two stanzas where he said no suicide, I was thinking there should be a comma there so that you can read no
I would have
suicide.
even put an exclamation mark.
Okay.
But something to break it. I would have put an exclamation, no, so that you know you're talking to suicide, or put suicide in capital letters or something. Well, yeah, come on, may work. Joy is not here.
Okay, okay.
No, I think that comma we do because suicide is personified there. It's not just a word. And
so
subsequent writing is addressing suicide as if it's a person. So it's like speaking to suicide. No,
hello. So the comma should do?
Yeah, the comma should do.
Okay. Henry.
Okay.
Ariel, you wanted to ask Father M something? Hello, Ariel.
No, since suicide is personified, I thought, won't it be capitalized?
Father M?
Well, you can have, because it's like a person, so the first letter S should be capitalized like a person. It's a noun, it's a proper noun. Now, so no suicide. You shall not, like say no Peter or no Paul. And then, yeah so.
Okay. Apart from, I feel those last two stanzas are unnecessary. They are too preachy to me. It kind of deviated from the style of writing that he started from the beginning, which was there's something they call it. Preachers use it when you say words that look twisted. Oyedepo uses it when you say you are addressed when you dress. There's something Father Dr. Ode calls it. I've forgotten. But those last two stanzas are too preachy. One. And they left the style of how he was coming from the beginning. But apart from that, I could see some that you need to stop. It is a poem that you don't just read from the beginning to the end, because by the time you see this stanza, I've seen the pride of humility in doves, and I have seen the humility of pride in peacocks. You want to pause a bit and try to, put that in your mind and see if you can understand or enjoy the way he was able to put those words. And that's part of the things I love about poetry. Ayomide, do you want to say anything? Ayomide? Hello, Ayomide. Ayomide is not talking. Somebody raised his hand. And I don't see. Okay. Ayomide is not talking. Marilyn, are you there?
It's John Paul's hand that is up.
Okay, John Paul. Hello, John Paul. John Paul.
Okay, yeah. I like the flow of the poem. I can see the juxtaposition of opposites, and it gives us this feel of still relating to the different aspects of life, the good and the bad in every situation. I can take, for instance, this: I have seen the light of darkness, and I have seen the darkness of light. It's giving us the mindset of someone who has experienced both extremes and has seen the opposites of the difference in view from both sides. So I think, just like you said earlier, the first 4 or 5 verses actually gave us that impression till he started giving the last 2 verses that broke down into a proclamation of some sort. But I think he was building. It actually gave me a bit of goosebumps because there was a build-up of these things. I was expecting he was going to end it with maybe a relaxation or an acceptance of a certain of an in-between between the two opposites that he has been mentioning. That's just my view on it. I think I like the idea till that last two verses, but it's a very good poem. That's my view.
Okay. Okay. Rio, Henry, some people are saying that they are muted. Can you please unmute them? Marilyn said she's muted. And I think one other person on the chat. I don't know if it's now or maybe they said that earlier.
It was now, and I have been unmuted now. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Marilyn, talk.
Thanks. So I beg to differ on the preachiness of the last two lines. Just because of what he did with the suicide bits, I think I could understand. So if we can scroll down to the suicide.
So depression.
So from that part where he begins to address suicide, I see this as an encouragement. And if you have had to deal with people who are suicidal, the need for them to be able to hold on to something that is bigger or more hopeful or greater than they feel they are is so important. So the minute he started speaking about suicide and you shall not be dignified with my name, with my friends, with my family, I could relate with that coming in. Why? Because then you ask the question, why shall you not be dignified with? And that's where the strength comes in, because, you know, so yes, it may sound preachy, but for someone, Fisherson, probably this poem was not written by you. You are a lover of life. You are not suicidal.
Seriously, yeah.
But,
Yeah, exactly.
But for a person who is suicidal, saying we're on the sweet side, we are purified, I think that that imagery could mediate light to the person. The only aspect I struggled with, because I generally liked the poem, and I was saying to my husband, this is probably my favorite poem for the day. The only part I struggled with was the light of darkness and the darkness of light. And maybe that was just because of my personal philosophies, because I feel like darkness can never be hidden in light. So that's where I personally struggled with the imagery there. But all in all, I really, really enjoyed this.
Okay. Henry, somebody, Father M, you want to talk?
Yeah, I wanted to say something briefly. I think this is a device that is common in some transcendental poets. And it's like having contradiction and then finding a resolution.
Exactly.
So I think that's what is playing. So it's something that we have a very everyday idea of darkness, but for some people, darkness is light. Sylvia Plath wrote the greatest of her poem when she was at the peak of her depression and suicidal. So out of that darkness came the light of the best of her creativity. So if we extend that, then this becomes more sensible, saying sound of silence. Silence should not have a sound. But at the end of the day, you find a kind of resolution. So in that light, that second half can fit in properly.
Okay, okay. Henry, please talk to us. Father M, you need to read us a poem before we go this evening, please.
Okay. The poem was about suicide. I attended an event, anti-suicide event. Today is actually anti-suicide, World Anti-Suicide Day or so, something like that. So this was for I attended the event, and the event was supposed to be anti-suicide and all that. But two different events were anti-suicide. But at the end of the day, I realized that it is a dignifying suicide. The opening statement or the opening poem that was read at the event was someone who succumbed to suicide. The other one too is the same thing. At the end of the day, a printout of the same copies of the suicide poem was shared to everybody to take home. I was like, what is this? Is it that are you encouraging someone to finally fall to this thing and all that? So that is where this idea of these last two stanzas came in from. Then at the end of the two program, a minute silence was given to the people that died due to suicide and all that. So it was like at the end of the day, we went there to glorify or to dignify the suicide itself. That is how I feel about the whole thing. I have to call out the organizer aside and said, going forward, this is my observation and all that. We shouldn't go home depressed and end up. It was so that is where this idea, the whole poem and everything, and I was like, since today is the anti-suicide day, I was supposed to join them in a march, but I was not too comfortable with the event, so I just said, okay, let me do this Loudthotz thing. So that is it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for sharing. The next poet that we read is Ayomide. Ayomide, are you here? Hello, Ayomide.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. You're reading next, please. Where is your poem? Yeah. Okay. Ayomide, please read.
There is a hole in the side of my body. I can feel myself leaking out of it. Every day when I sit to write, I find the world running faster. The door shifting, running away from the hinge. I see this body does not want to be just a body anymore. Nothing wants to remain the same. There is a hole in the middle of my abdomen, like a drill eating out a log of wood. I want to put my mouth on it, feel the metal on my tongue. This must be the genesis of beautiful things. A hole, blood, a shriek of pain. It is difficult to do this. Close my mouth, stop the fingers poking out. Tell a story. Tell me a story. Tell me not to forget my own softness, how it is soft and smooth like a tumor, delicate just the same. How my own body will reject me on some days, how I will reject it also, and maybe that will be living. Every time I feel pain, I look behind it, check for the lessons in its backpack, as if pain never comes alone, as if life doesn't just make us suffer.
Wow. Ayomide, you need to read this again, please.
Oh, okay. Can you go to the beginning? Okay, thank you. There is a hole in the side of my body. I can feel myself leaking out of it. Every day when I sit to write, I find the world running faster. The door shifting, running away from the hinge. I see this body does not want to be just a body anymore. Nothing wants to remain the same. There is a hole in the middle of my abdomen, like a drill eating out a log of wood. I want to put my mouth on it, feel the metal on my tongue. This must be the genesis of beautiful things. A hole, blood, a shriek of pain. It is difficult to do this. Close my stomach, stop the fingers poking out. Tell a story, tell me a story. Tell me not to forget my own softness, how it is soft and smooth like a tumor, delicate just the same. How my own body will reject me on some days, how I will reject it also, and maybe that will be living. Every time I feel pain, I look behind it, check for the lessons in its backpack, as if pain never comes alone, as if life doesn't just make us suffer.
Nice, 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 nice. Henry, please talk.
It's just beautiful. Though I don't understand what you're saying apart from the word thing there that is constant and all that. But I like the way you read it, the arrangement of the poem. You can follow the flow and all that.
Okay, Tim. Hello, Tim. Somebody should mute Tim, the poet.
Okay, thank you. I've been unmuted.
Okay.
Delicate O, very symbolic. Delicate O. There's a very sad feel to the poem. A very sad feel to it. The character seems lost, because when you see the line where it says, "I find the world running faster, the door shifting, running away from the hinge." There's lots of despair, ensconced in that poem, and it points to the very fact of doom. This character seems to love the pain, because if you look at the part where it says he wants to feel, "I want to put my mouth on it, feel the metal on my tongue. This must be the genesis of beautiful things." Why would a hole in your body be the genesis of beautiful things? Very sad poem. Very sad poem. I'm done.
Okay. Also, I'm sure Ayomide will tell us about the structure of the poem, because it's kind of scattered. Kemi, are you there? Hello, Kemi. Are you there?
Chief, on my light is raising his hand.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let Kemi talk, and then Olaito will talk, please. Yeah, talk, Kemi. Hello? Hello, Kemi.
Why did you something? In I can feel the poem, not because I know what he's talking about, although there's this underlining of maybe someone who is going through a lot and maybe wants to take his own life or something. But there's a way he wrote it, and then the voice he used to read it. So this "I'm done" kind of voice going on there. I think my best part of when there is a hole in the middle of my abdomen, like a drill eating out a log of wood. That's so, like, I mean, there's just something so powerful about what he did. He's not using big grammar stick. I think this is a poet to look out for. So thank you for sharing.
Okay, Humble, talk, please.
So I love the style of writing this poem. There's a lot of stylistics going on around, and I think this is a poem about a struggle of identity. I think we often find it very hard to identify, to find a edge for ourselves. So I think this poet's persona struggles with the same thing, the struggle of identity, and everything that seems to feel right to its individual, it seems to take the opposite turn with this poet's persona. So it's a very beautiful poem. I love it.
Okay. Ayomide, please talk. We are running out of time already.
Okay, let me try to rush it now. Okay, so there's something when I first started poetry that Sarah K mentioned, how that whenever she writes,
who is Sarah K?
Sarah, yeah, she's a spoken word poet. I think it's Sarah K, if I'm sure. I'm not, I think so. I think it's Sarah K. Yeah, she's a spoken word artist. Okay. She's a spoken word artist. So she said whenever she's going through something, she writes a poem, and then at the end of the poem, she now really realizes what's going on. Like there are many times that the poem helps her figure out what is going on with her. So when I started the poem, okay, let me talk about, for example, this place about there is a hole in the middle of my abdomen, like a drill eating out a log of wood. I was feeling ulcer pain at that moment. So it started the poem. There's a part about the hole the side of my body. I can feel myself leaking out of it. A big part of the poem was focusing on myself. And then at the end, so I basically described pain. And then at the end, I now mention how that, in life, there's always this notion about everybody, like there's a lesson from every pain, and then there's a lesson from everything we're supposed to learn from everything. And so I now, it's like that was like a sort of conclusion that sometimes it's just pain. Like, and then every single time I feel pain, I try to rationalize it. But doesn't life just make us suffer sometimes? So nothing, but then I think many of the assumptions, comments that have been given about it are also they can also very fitting. So
Okay, before I move forward, is anybody going to talk about this? Can you hear me? Is anybody going to talk about this forward slash that is there? Is it a poetic device or is just something that was put there by mistake? Ayomide? Hello, Ayomide?
Okay, I am very impressed by the things I read. I've seen. Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello. Hello. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. So it's something that I've seen used many times in the things that I've read, in the books that I've read. So it's something that when I saw it, when I saw it, I spoke with my mentor, and the person was like, "Oh, you can." So there are times that I try to use it in place of a comma or in place of just. Sometimes it's just for aesthetic. Actually, there are sometimes I just use it for the aesthetic value.
Okay, Humble, you want to say something about the forward slashes?
Oh, exactly. The slashes are actually taken more seriously in music, in prosody than poetry. You know, in poetry, it is just used for, like you said, aesthetics and stylistics. But in music, it is taken with a huge gravity. It has what it actually symbolizes. But in poetry, it shouldn't be actually taken more seriously. It is just for beauty and all around physical feeling of the poem. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you, Ayomide, for sharing. I think we have like one more poem or so, and then we can close. Let me see. Stereotypes done. Salimon, I think she logged out. She said something that her battery is low, and she's left. Let me see the next person. Kolade Olawale. Ifeanyi has read.
Oh, okay.
Ifeanyi has. Okay. Is Kolade here? I don't think so. Kolade Olawale. If the person commented in the chat, let me know so that he can read his poem. If he's not there, then this Jan the poet. Is Jan the poet here? I don't think so. Smith and I think we are done. I don't think we have any other poem to read except Father Michael's poem, which is below. I'm going to make it big so that we can read it, and then that will be the end for today. Father M, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, let's listen to your poem.
Okay,
please.
So it's a very short one and quick as well. Pay it forward. Fear grows as thick as weights in these troubling uncertainties. All seems trials, tragedies, with the countless seeds of despair. Amidst endless news of losses, all feels in a shipwrecked love. No need for fear. Raise the faith by becoming somebody's hope, by becoming somebody's hero. Be somebody's prayer answered. Let's become each other's armor. Let's become each other's anchor. Every kindness is a dew of heaven. Every care is a glimpse of paradise. We are stronger by lifting others up. Be the lifts. Be the little wings of God. Be you. Thank you.
Please read it again.
Okay. Pay it forward. Fear grows as thick as weeds in these troubling uncertainties. All seem trials, tragedies with the countless seeds of despair. Amidst endless news of losses, all feels in a shipwrecked love. No need for fear. Raise the faith by becoming somebody's hope, by becoming somebody's hero. Be somebody's prayer answered. Let's become each other's armor. Let's become each other's anchor. Every kindness is a dew of heaven. Every care is a glimpse of paradise. We are stronger by lifting others up. Be the lifts. Be the little wings of God. Be you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Father M. I like the beginning. Fear grows as thick as weeds. I was expecting something more with all those your Igala words that you drop in there that you know takes us to start imagining how the land will be. But this one is straightforward. With a good dose of poetic devices that you put in there. It looks like a simple poem, but your choice of words makes someone read it again. You know what somebody reading it knows what you're saying, or what the poet persona is saying, knows exactly what it means. But it kind of draws you back. So, oh, this is how he said this. That's what's great about this poem. It looks so. Let me quote Dr. Ode again. It's so simple but not simplistic. I'm sounding like a.
You're a don now.
I'm a don now. It's sounding simple but it's not simplistic, and I love the poem. Marilyn, this is your kind of poem. Do you want to talk? Hello, Marilyn. Somebody should unmute her, please. Marilyn.
Hi.
Okay. Talk.
So there are some lines here that I really like. Let's become each other's armor. Let's become each other's anchor. It is so beautiful. Every kindness is a dew of heaven.
Yeah.
Is a glimpse of paradise. It's beautiful. I really like it. It's a kind of it's a poem that waters you. So great job. Well done, Father.
Thank you.
Emmanuel. Hello, Emmanuel. Are you there?
He's muted.
Oh, Henry, please unmute Emmanuel.
Yes. So I mean, what more can we say about like the simple nature of this poem, and yet the message of hope is striking. I mean, there's this line. It says, "Be the little wings of God."
Oh yeah.
That is a very strong one. That is a very strong one. I mean,
Wings of God.
And we live in this time of like with the COVID and everything happening now. Like it's a lot of things happening, you know, not so good things, negative stories here and there. And this poem is the message to keep moving on, you know, like to help each other. You know, I like the hope. It resonates. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can
Kemi,
I say something?
Okay, please.
You know what Father did? Father did also. He had no poem for today. All he just did was to summarize all the beautiful, sad poem of today and just
give us hope.
Quickly do something to just give us hope, to just give us some words of affirmations and all that, to just lighten the spirit, because that is just what he did. And this is beautiful, honestly.
Yeah.
At least it changed the mood from all these, even as sweet as the poems are, all the poems, almost all the poems, right? As sweet as they are, there's this subtle sadness into it and all that. So
okay.
this is good.
John Paul
for today.
John Paul, are you there?
Meanwhile, can I say something, Chisom?
Okay.
What happened to your cap? You scared me. At least you should have warned somebody like us. I've not seen you with that cap before.
Really? You haven't seen me with that cap before?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, no problem. John Paul, you thought that it's another person, Henry?
Yes. Yes.
Hello, John Paul, talk.
Yeah, I think I agree with what. Yes, I can hear you. I said I agree with what Henry just said, and aside from that, one thing if you see, I sent you the message behind that Father just tried to give us a beautiful ending, and I said a loud amen to it, because we are talking about doom, and doom is supposed to be something sad, very, very sad, but
The network.
As the poem went on, gives us this sense that despite spells, there
John Paul, your network is bad. Hello.
is always hope. So I think this is a beautiful way to end. It's really beautiful. This is my first time joining this session, and I'm very, very happy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Father, please talk so that we can close.
Well, I think you have said it all. It's very simple and self-explanatory, and even though it's doom, starting with those litany of doom, we can always end on the note of hope and lifting us up. I think that's what I was intending to come through this short piece. So thank you for your supportive comments.
Oh, thank you too, Father, for sharing with us this evening, impromptu. But thank you. You lifted us for the evening. This is the end of the meeting. This is the end of the reading. And I want to thank you guys for staying throughout and contributing and learning from each other. Our next reading will be October 8th. And the theme will be, the theme will be flowers. That's not what I want to do. That's the theme for October 8th. No. Sorry. And sorry, let me write it somewhere. So this is the theme. That's the theme for the next reading on 8th October. Next reading. 8th October. So on 8th October, the theme we'll be reading to is flowers. Everybody's complaining too much about doom. So let's read flowers this next month. Let's see if everybody will be happy. And of course, all the poems that I read this evening, will be here. www.loudthotz.blogspot.com. So before Sunday evening or by Sunday evening or Monday morning at most, all the poems will be up at this address, www.loudthoughtspoetry.blogspot.com. All our previous poems are read during all the other readings. They are also there. And the next reading will be 8th October, and the theme is flowers. Thank you for being here. See you guys next month. Let's, if you have not joined the Telegram group, please contact Rio, chat her up now, and she will add you to the chat, to the Telegram chat group, so that we can let's discuss, let's write poems. Let's talk about poems on the group. That's what that Telegram chat is for. Please, let's talk there. Let's share poems there. We don't have to wait till only the event day to share our poems. In fact, the more you write, the better you get. So chat Ario. Ario is on this group. Just chat her and tell her you're not on the Telegram group, and she will add you. We'll be talking at the Telegram group, and then we'll read on 8th of October. Thank you and good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. Have a lovely week.
Good night, everyone.
Ifeanyi. Hello, Ifeanyi. Good night.